Hi, this is Mr. Max. So there's a test that I gave for revision to my grade 11s at at my school. I thought I can share it with you. So it is work that you can use for revision purposes. So I have a list of instructions and information. Of course, the most important one is that all questions must be answered, and your instructions in your question papers at the end of the year are also mostly like this. And very important that you show your working, and it must be done below that question where the working is indicated. And non-programmable calculators may be used, and if the degrees of accuracy is not specified in the question, and if the answer is not exact, you then give your answer to three significant figures. All right, let's just delve in. So it's a whole host of various topics. The first one is a combination of some ratios and some percentages. So Mrs. or Gosses needs the following ingredients to make 4 loaves of bread: 500 grams of sugar, 25 grams of salt, and 10 grams of yeast. Now they want you to write the ratio in the form as it's given: yeast being 10 here, sugar being 500, and salt being 25. So from here, I think the objective is just to sort of divide by the highest common factor, which is just 5 into 10. That's 2 times 5 into 500. That's 100. 5 into 25. That's 5. All right. So that uh, is the answer there. Everything as it is now is in its simplest form. How many kilograms of sugar would Mrs. Gosses need to make 36 loaves of bread? So what do we know? We know that 4 loaves of bread, okay, we're now comparing sugar, takes about 500 gram. 500 gram divided by 1,000 is equal to 0.5 kilograms. So 36 loaves of bread should now do more. So you can do your cross multiply the two, or you can do your cross multiplication. So that gives you 4x is equal to 0.5 times 36, and then x would be 0.5 times that 36 divided by 4, 9 over that. So the final answer will just be 4.5 kilograms. In 2018, it is given that she makes a total income of $54,000. It is now given that her total in 2019, so this is in the future, was 12% more. 12% more means 100% plus 12%, which is 112%. That implies you either have two ways of doing it. You can calculate 112% of 54,000 in order for you to get the one for 2019. Okay, so that's 112% times 54,000. Well, that's 60,480. Okay, other people could do other methods. They first calculate 12% of the 54,000, and that answer they add it then to the 54,000. It's when you don't add the answer that your answer becomes wrong or incomplete. It is given that her total income of 2018, that 54,000, was 20% more than her income in 2017. This is the past, which is now unknown. When we don't know the original amount, this has to do with reverse percentage because we don't know the original amount. But what is it that we know? We know there's a 120% increase in something. What does it mean? It means the income that she made in 2017 should be far less. So this 54,000 over the income we don't know of 2017, it represents 120% increase. Okay, the 54,000, remember, is for 2018. The x is 2017. When you do cross multiplication, you get 120x equals to 100 times 54,000. And this is where the reverse percentage comes in. Can you see the 100 is on top? Multiplying that by 54,000. Eventually, it is now given that what she made is 45,000 in 2017. Question 2. It is given that log 2 is represented by h, log 3 is represented by k. Express h plus k as a single logarithm of a single number. That means h, which is now log 2, plus k, which is log 3, they are now separate. So log 2 times 3, when you take the logs, adding logs of the same basis, you multiply the numbers, the answer is simply log 6 as a log of a single number, not the actual log 6 calculated value. Log 24 must be written in terms of h and k. What is log 24? We know that log 24 is 8 times 3, that is 8 times 3. Okay, you use your calculator, you say 24, you say equal to, you press shift and the factorization button of fact, you have that in prime factor form. Anyway, now when we write them separately, it is log 2 cubed plus, because you're multiplying, log 3. This power law is 3 log 2 plus log 3. This becomes 3 log 2 must be replaced. Log 2 must be replaced with the h that you have over there. So you can go ahead, you can say 3h, and log 3, everywhere where you have a log 3 must be replaced with a k, that k. So the answer is 3h plus k. That is all that she wrote. Make y the subject of the formula. Well, you can start off by taking the square root of both sides because you want to get rid. So that basically gives you m in bracket y plus n over y is equal to p squared. Then go ahead and you can go ahead and multiply throughout by y, so kind of cross multiplication. And then the objective would be in this part to multiply out, distribute the m. The reason for that is because somewhere we want to have all the terms containing y on one side so that we can factorize. So that's p square y minus my. And now I'm going to take y outside by factorizing it, extracting it from there. That is p square minus m. On this side is mn. So the only thing that needs to happen, both sides must be divided by p square minus m and p square minus m. So at the end of the day, it is mn over p square minus m. This is very straightforward to an extent. You can also definitely get a different answer, but something like y equals to minus, you have mn, and now m minus p squared. The two things are actually exactly the same. The kinetic energy, E joules, is given as of a given mass it varies directly to the square of its velocity, v meters per second. When the velocity is 5, the kinetic energy is 150 joules. So the relationship here is E equals to some constant times v squared. Now we are told that when your v is equal to 5, then your E is equal to 150. That means 150 is equal to 25 times K, but we wanted the equation connecting the kinetic energy, so our K is going to be 150 over here divided by 25, therefore K is equal to 6. So the equation that connects this whole story, okay, will be now written as E equals to 6V squared. Okay. So the next thing that they were going to give you in part B, they are probably just going to give you something and then you must find the other one. Again, the equation is E equals to 6V squared. They say what will be the kinetic energy when V is 10 meters per second. So E would be 6 and that is 10 squared, which makes it 6 times 100, which is 600 joules. Question 5, you have got an equation here, and please, you need to first remove the 6. Cannot multiply 6 times 2, that's not what we do. You'll have 2 raised to the power of x plus 1, which equals to 16, because 96 divided by 6 is 16. This has got an index, so you cannot multiply this base with the 6, because you first have to find the indices before you multiply. But in this case, we don't know the value of x. No need to use logarithms. You should recognize that 16 is 2 raised to the power of 4 as a base of 4. We can drop the bases and equate the indices, that is x plus 1 is equal to 4. Therefore, x will be 4, take away 1, and the value of x is equal to 3. Part B, well, there is nothing that you have to really concern yourself. Just remember that this is not an equation but an inequality, and you are not allowed to put equal signs there. Part C, you need to simplify. Whenever you are dealing with algebraic fractions, you need to put parentheses in the expression. All right, so the denominator will be x plus 2 and x plus 3. You can just join them. The 3 over here is now going to get that x plus 3. Then the other number will get x plus 2. And that other number that I'm referring to is the minus 2. Again, no need to multiply out the denominator. So we need to multiply out. That gives you 3x. And that gives you 9. That gives you minus 2x, and a negative times a positive gives you a minus 4 over the same denominator that you do not multiply out, x plus 2, x plus 3. When you simplify the stuff on top, you have got a 3x minus 2x, then you have got 9 minus 4. Eventually, this will lead to the answer of x plus 5 over the same denominator. And that is all that you need to do in that question. No need, again, as I said, absolutely no need to multiply out the denominator. Question 6 deals with some simultaneous equation. Well, you have to decide which method you're going to use. I'm going to use the method of equal coefficients. So I'm going to make one pair is either with the x pair. I'm going to make the coefficients the same, or the y pair, I'm going to make the coefficients the same. So making the coefficient for x the same, that implies that if I was to label, this is maybe the first equation and this is the second equation, then I would be multiplying this equation here by 3 and multiply this whole equation by 4. So this multiplied by 3, this one multiplied by 4. So when we do the first one on top, that is 12x plus 15y equals to 69. Maybe we can call that equation C. When we do the next one, that is 12x plus 8y equals to 48. That is 4 times 12. This could be D. So what we are going to do is we are going to subtract equation D from equation C. Now what that does is you're now eliminating your terms containing x. 15y minus 8y is 7y. 69 minus 48 is 21. Right? That leaves me that the value of y must be 21 divided by 7. Then the value of y is equal to 3. If that is the case, we can calculate the value of x by substituting into the original equation 4x plus 5y equals 23, or you can substitute in B, A or B, alright, get the same answer. We know that the value of y happens to be 3, so this is 4x here plus 15 equals 23, then 4x equals to 23, take away 15, okay, so that's 8, so x would be 8 divided by 4, 8 divided by 4. Eventually, if you do that, you would realize that x is 2 and y is equal to 3. Question 7. By completing the square, find the coordinates of the turning point of the curve. Of course, I normally start, I say y equals to, of course, let's say that y is already there. So y minus 7 equals to minus x squared minus 6x. And then I'm going to take out, because you have to write it in the form ax plus p all squared plus q. That is the vertex form that we are looking for. Then negative 1 outside, that is going to be x squared plus 6x. Now completing the square refers that you take half of the middle term, half of 6, which is nothing but 3, and all squared. Right. Now before you do anything, if you look at x plus 3 all squared, and if you multiply it out, it's x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9, that is x squared plus 6x plus 9. So x squared plus 6x looks like that, but there is a 9 that is being added. So since they are adding a 9, so we'll have to remove that 9. Before I bring that 7 of mine back, this negative will change that, because a negative times a negative. So eventually I have y minus 7 equals to negative 1. Here you have x plus 3 plus 9. If you would say negative 1 times negative 9. So eventually y will equal to minus 1. Then you have x plus 3 all squared. Then you have 9 plus 7. If you clean this up, you're going to see that eventually I'm ending with y equals to minus 1 x plus 3 all squared plus 16. 16 will be here, and the turning point is opposite of whatever that one is inside the bracket. Now, the equation that I just got, the equation is, I don't have to use another equation. I'll just use the equation. Just want to make sure. I'm going to use the equation y equals to minus x plus 3 all squared plus 16. This equation are basically the same, they are equal. The other one is just written in vertex form, the one under, and the other one is written in standard form. Right, I know where the equation will cut the y-axis at 7, so y-intercept is where x equals to 0, and if you put that there, then you will know that, okay, it will cut the y-axis at 7, otherwise you can just look at that. Then we're also interested in where will it cut the x-axis. So the x-axis is the x-intercept is when y equals to 0. So I'm taking this equation and I'm going to let it equal to 0. So I'm going to say negative in bracket x plus 3 all squared minus 16 equals to 0 plus 16. Then it's minus x plus 3 all squared equals to negative 16. Then that leaves me with x plus 3 all squared equals negative 16 divided by negative 1. X plus 3 all squared equals to 16. Alright? Then x plus 3 equals to the square root of 16, the positive 1, or x plus 3 equals to negative square root of 16. X plus 3 equals to 4, x equals to 1 if you move it, or x equals to, that's negative 4 minus 3. Okay, so if you go ahead, you will see that x equals to negative 7. Okay, so I know my turning point, I know where it's going to cut the x-axis and the y-axis. Alright, so this is positive over here, so the graph is going to be translated to the left. Alright, from here 3 places to the left. So basically I have a general idea of how this particular graph is going to behave, and something like that. One of the reasons why the graph is closing up here is going to be the highest point, which is the turning point of negative 3, 16. One of the reasons for that, this is 7, and here this is negative 7, and here this is 1. In this form is obviously because of this, which the value of a, if the value of a is less than 0, then the graph takes that shape over there. Alright, so the rest is pretty much all up to you. As long as you remember you are just doing a sketch, and we're not really going to penalize you so much, but basically your graph is supposed to be something like that. The last question, you have got you have got 6 diagrams, and from these diagrams you're supposed to answer the following questions. I'm just going to make this small. Complete a table to identify the correct graph for each function. The graph of y equals to x plus 1. The graph of y equals to x plus 1 has been indicated to you as e, as you can see. Y equals to, now if I just have to rewrite this, it's going to be, this is y equals to minus 1 over 3x plus 1. So where does it cut? Straight line. Where does it cut the y-axis at 1? And where's the gradient? This is the 1. Alright. So this one here is a. Then y equals to 2x squared. Well, that one is a parabola. There are only 2 options. It's this 2, but this one has got a y-intercept, and this is the one we are looking for. This is y equals to 2x squared. So that one over there will be C. When you look at this 2, you have got this graph y equals to minus 4 over x. There is only an option between D and between F. So those graphs are hyperbolas. Now if the first and the third quadrant is drawn, then you have a graph y equals to k over x, and k is a positive number. If it's in the second quadrant and in the fourth quadrant, the curves, then the graph is y equals to minus k over x. So this here is D. All right, I hope that this work has been quite useful for you to prepare yourselves for the upcoming examinations. Stay tuned for the question paper 2 of last year, ordinary level. I've already did some questions, a few of them, so I'm not just going to take them question by question.